Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of What CD is Rob listening to now. And we're continuing our Van Halen marathon into 1991. And this album sort of blew up thanks to several fantastic tracks. This was back in the day when bands like Meatloaf and Megadeth and Rush, and I mean so many great classic rock bands were sort of riding up the charts again. Bryan Adams, just so many great bands just all over the music charts. You wouldn't see that again today. But back then, man, so many great albums released in 1991, and this was one of them, Van Halen's For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. This album starts like any album would, with the drill playing an electric guitar. Okay, this is probably the only one that starts like that. Pound Cake is the track, and it's a hard rock tune through and through. The bass is backing up in the mix, thank God, because it was largely missing from OU812, so I'm glad it's back here and it sounds great. The guitar licks are just fantastic, and the drums will be pounding through your brain long after this track is over. And Sammy, the new guy on vocals, sounds just phenomenal. I say new guy even though this is his third album. Is there nothing that Red Rocker can't sing? Just phenomenal. This track is killer and should have never been dropped by the band in a live setting. Even with Roth at the helm, they could have played this one at least instrumentally. It's everything that a hard rock Van Halen tune should be. Judgment Day is next, and somehow heavier than Pound Cake. This is just one hard rocking tune with crunchy guitars, a rhythm section at the top of their game, and vocals that can go from powerful and driving to the melodic beauty during the chorus. It takes a special kind of vocalist to pull off melodic and heavy, and Sammy is the king at it. There's some really tasty guitar licks throughout this song, and the solo is just masterfully written and played. Overall, this is Van Halen definitely bringing their A game. Spanked starts off with a real sort of dirty intro. This isn't as heavy as the previous tracks, sort of like a somewhat quieter vibe, but there's a lot of great playing here. The bass part is sort of right in your face and sounds great with that sort of sparse guitar playing through the chorus. The vocals are melodic and the melodies are just wonderful, and the subject matter of the lyrics, well, I probably shouldn't talk much about that here. Let's just talk about that seriously cool guitar solo instead. I love the tone of this solo, and the notes are played to perfection as only Eddie could have done. Runaround is a song that you couldn't get through the day without hearing and get stuck in your head back in the day when MTV used to play music videos. It wasn't the biggest song on the album, but I've always loved it. The melodies are definitely infectious, and the band is playing like seasoned experts, and the song is just a wonderful hard rocker. Right from the intro, it's obvious this is going to be a great song with some of Sammy's best singing on the entire album. The song has a guitar solo. It's one of those that has me questioning if Eddie Van Halen was even human. It's damn near perfect. Pleasure Dome is nothing short of amazing. The tune starts with a sort of quiet melodic guitar part, which really doesn't prepare us for the massive instrumental feast contained within. This song is hard rock bombast at its best, and with the drums being the lead instrument here, at least for the first couple of minutes, it's easy to see why Alex is one of the greatest drummers of all time. Vocally, I kind of take a lot of them as just another instrument in this track. They really mix well with the music. They sort of meld together, and I just love how they do that. After the first couple of minutes, the song shakes out into another very cool melodic hard rocker. Though the drums do still seem to keep their place in the lead, maybe just a little more reserved. Later on tour, this song would lead into a full-on drum solo. Very cool track and a definite showcase for one of rock's greatest rhythm sections. In and Out is another hard rocker with a great vocal performance, and a band just playing together just fantastically. Vocally, it's a high point of the album for me, sort of a forgotten track that at least made this tour, and it's on the live album. There's some great guitar moments sitting behind the vocals and the verses that could have been killer on their own if they were developed further, but they just sound so good here, I think we can forgive it. The guitar solo is played over some random vocal noises made by Sammy and a serious headbanger. Maybe one of the best solos on the disc. And still, Alex seems to be unleashed to wreak havoc on this track. And frankly, the entire album has me wonder where they had him hiding during the David Lee Roth albums, because man, just something about him really just kicked into high gear with 5150 and just hasn't stopped. Man on a Mission kicks off with a brief sort of disjointed thing with the bass and guitars before kicking into another hard rock guitar blistering track. The rhythm section works with the guitars here to give a musical showcase to Sammy's vocals. There are some excellent vocal harmonies on this one as well. It's just another great song from the album. Although at this point, even though the album has been damn good, it does start to feel a bit formulaic, like they were just trying to keep with one sound. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, it runs the entire disc and it just sounds great. Again, nothing bad, just an observation. Next up, the song The Dream Is Over is my favorite track on this album. Very predictable for me since it's a melodic, face-melting hard rocker. The track for me is all about the vocals. Sure, there's some great music being played here. Once again, Eddie was the master of guitar playing, and he's bringing one hell of a performance on this song. But I just love the vocals on this one. The song is far from a ballad, as it knows how to kick some serious ass, but the vocal melodies just do it for me, especially the chorus. As I've always said, Sammy is the king of writing those amazing vocal melodies. How this song wasn't a bigger hit just sort of baffles me. It has all the ingredients for it: shredding guitars, pounding drums, slapping bass, and again, those vocals. Right now, we're going to talk about a song that you couldn't blink without hearing back in the day. It's a piano-driven rock track that was all over the radio on MTV, a song that no other band could have pulled off in such great fashion. I mean, guitar and piano working together to both be the main instrument on a power ballad that's clearly on crack. There are vocals here that still give me goosebumps. The drums that are somehow playing their own mini drum solo for what seems like much of the track. And at one point, Eddie even finds himself with his hands full playing a killer guitar solo, one for the ages. I swear the video for this song was being played at least every hour for a while back when the single was released. Such a great song, and in my opinion, the best of the quote-unquote overplayed Van Halen tracks. Very cool song. Plus, could you imagine a guitar piano driven tune being anywhere near popular radio these days? I can't, and it makes me sad for my children, who instead get fucking macaroni in a pot. And right now, I'm going to talk about the next track. 316 is a short acoustic guitar solo. Nothing hugely groundbreaking here, but a very pretty interlude leading into the album's final track, the melodic hard rocker, Top of the World. This song is another of those that should have been all over the radio. It's just a wonderfully melodic, heavy song. It's a song that worked live just as well as this blistering rocker worked in the studio. The band played this one together with no instrument really standing out above the others until the solo. And I believe that Sammy turned in one of his greatest Van Halen performances on this song. Really cool stuff and a great way to end one of my very favorite Van Halen albums. Again, there are a lot of purists out there that think that Van Halen sucked with Sammy Hagar at the helm. I'm not one of them. I think he elevated this band to legendary status for me. I love the David Lee Roth stuff, but something so very special about the 4 Van Halen albums with Sammy Hagar at the helm, as I think many of you might agree. Anyway, I'll see you next time with Balance. Until then, toodles.